episode 19.
Gunshots on a gun, under what I be. Guilt trip, these drugs are inside of me. This is not where I want to be. This is
All right. That's it. Enough of the distractions. It's time for some action and satisfaction. Welcome to the Mostly Sorry podcast. This is episode 19. I am here in a different location. I'm at my girlfriend's house. And honestly, I feel really good about it. I was just telling David, because I'm at home with people, I sometimes feel like I can't talk, I guess. I don't know. Maybe what are they going to overhear me saying? Shooting fireworks out of my ass or something? Whatever. They already know I do all of that. But yeah, here I am. I feel good. This is like a nice environment. There's plants. We got some foliage. Is that what you call it? Some flora and fauna. I don't know what part. I think fauna might mean animals. Flora is definitely the plants. There's cats roaming around. You might see one of them make an appearance at some point. That would be nice. Cats lower blood pressure when you pet them. It's a scientific fact. So do dogs. And by that sort of information, I should have 1 million cats, and then maybe I will be mentally healthy. But I'm here with my, friend, producer, co-host, and just all around pal, the good old David Deary. David, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really complain. Things are good. Been playing tennis a lot lately and getting outside and
Nice.
California, baby.
I got a question about tennis. Because we've all heard of tennis elbow. Is that a injury just directly connected to tennis? Can people who don't play tennis get tennis elbow?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people that don't play tennis could get tennis elbow, but tennis elbow is directly related to tennis because of the way you swing the racket and you swing your arm, and it's generally people who swing incorrectly end up using, and abusing their elbow in a way that it's not supposed to operate. So you end up getting, this injury from tennis because of the way you swing your arm, and if you swing wrong, you'll fuck your elbow up.
You get fucked up. I once got mosh pit knee, actually. Is a thing.
Right.
Your knee gets fucked up from being in a mosh pit. Anyway,
when it smacks the forehead of another young mosher. Is
oh
that
my
right?
God, yeah, exactly. The last mosh pit I was in was so much fun. It was a 2-day festival called Surf City Blitz. So many awesome bands played, and it was on the beach, so it sort of gives you a false sense of safety because the sand is a lot softer than concrete or like a club floor. So I was like doing front flips in the fucking mosh pit, like landing on my back, like in the middle, like in the sand, and like going nuts. And then there's this, I love mosh pits because they're controlled chaos, and they seem a lot more violent from the outside than they really are. I mean, it's bumps and bruises mostly. Everybody hates the fucking dude who's swinging in there. Like I remember I knew a guy in high school. He was like, yeah, man, I socked that dude. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this isn't what we're doing, man. Like, but this guy also would always he had a souped up car and he would pull up next to cars who didn't even know they were racing him. Like, it'd be some old man in like some Honda that racer people soup up, but this guy just had the regular version. And when the light would turn green, he'd take off and he'd be like, dude, I fucking smoked that guy, dude. And I'm like, that guy didn't even know he was racing you, dude. So
right.
who'd have thought that
punching someone in a mosh pit when they don't know that you're,
yeah,
generally you don't punch people in a mosh pit, right?
You never do. You never do unless.
What are the rules?
So the rules are, everybody's so friendly in a mosh pit. Usually, sometimes you meet a new bro or something in there. You both know the lyrics to one of your favorite songs. You make eye contact. Now you throw your arm around this guy's shoulder. Now you're doing a double mosh pit dance with some new homie that you just met. It's like if people fall, if somebody immediately picks them up. That's one of the top rules. You fall in a mosh pit, you fucking grab them, you pick them up. So that's why I started this story was I got my knee fucked up in a mosh pit. I was going. I fell and somehow tweaked the fuck out of my knee. and immediately they're there picking me up, but I couldn't stand, dude. Like, so I was just, they're like, I'm falling while they're just picking me up. It was anyway, my whole point being to this, I don't know if I'm too old to be in a mosh pit or maybe just not athletic enough at the time, but I'm gonna try to I would like to do it again at some point.
Great, that's great. So,
But I think about it all the time when I was in high school. Like, I would get in these mosh pits and then just go to school the next day, like all fucking bruised up. And I guess my point is my body has changed as the years have gone by. It's a very long way to say that.
oh, it's great. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to waste at least an hour of time.
That's cool. I also think I want to make this. I have hot tea. I have a hot chai tea. And then I have cold water, and I might be alternating just so people know that you're watching me. You're like, what is he doing? Was he drinking hot stuff, cold stuff? This guy's nuts. And there's a kind of a funny story about the water. Me and my girlfriend go to this outdoor gym, and they have these like you can get water there. Whatever, it's sanitized, everything's clean. And for some reason, my girlfriend was always like, man, the water at the gym is so fucking good. It's like, it's incredible. And so we started joking that she would like harvest water. Like when she went there, like, oh, it's time for the harvest. And like, she'd take the water in her bottle, bring it home, and then like drink from that water instead of the one from the Brita that she has. And that's how good it was. And so one day I was like, I'm just going to ask them where they get their water. Like, let's cut out the middleman. We're going to buy our own. We're done with this harvesting bullshit. We're going to farm our own water. And we found out where they get it. It's this like little water store in Eagle Rock. We showed up, got one of the huge fucking gallons sitting right over there. And now we have our own gym water.
I thought you were going to say that it didn't taste as good. I thought you were going to be like, we got it and we got it home and it doesn't taste as good.
No, it's everything we ever hoped and dreamed it would be. Although they have more bougie versions. They have a reverse osmosis water, which is basically what smart water is. And then they have the pH water. So I think the next time I might go get it for her, and I might spoil her with the pH water. I might come and be like, honey, look what I got you. I got you the bougie water. And then we sit around, drink it with our pinkies up, and talk about the notes of water. We don't do that. By the way, water sommeliers, go fuck yourself.
Wow, this is a very specific. Wow, to the water crowd out there, to the crowd that's really looking for the best water in the world, Eagle Rock's got it.
Yeah, basically any little like water store you can go. They're usually owned by like Mexicans or Asians. They open these. I feel like a lot of immigrant cultures buy the water store because they have respect for water. That's why, because they're not from a place where maybe water is easily accessible. Maybe clean water is not easily accessible. So now that they are in a place, they have love and respect for the water, and they want to give that to the community/tribe human race.
Well, let's all respect our local mom and pop water shops and get out there. Don't stop buying your water on Amazon.com.
Mom and Pop Water Shop is a great name for like a hip hop duo.
That would be 100% white kids with backpacks. There's no way two black dudes would be called Mom and Pop Water Shop.
Yeah.
That'd be two white dudes from White Plains, New York, who, they don't ever say the N-word, but they might use a word that like ninja. Like, what up, my ninja?
Yeah.
Pretend to be able to say the N-word, but not actually say the N-word,
That's funny. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those.
By the way, Joel,
dudes. Yeah,
you've been on this podcast before. Every week we have a band on this podcast, and they dress up as different characters.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't get the chance to shop tonight. So.
Oh, wait, wrong show. Actually, we start this show. My bad. We start this show.
Honest mistake.
Yeah, we start this show with a little ode to your mental health, and so a little shout out to your mental stability. I'd like to say,
or instability, if you will.
No, stability, if you will. So Joel, let me ask you something, man. How you feeling, buddy?
I feel like this is gonna be more of a mental health minute, more of like I sort of wanted the podcast to center around this topic because I've been going through it, man, and it's weird because yeah, I don't know. It's such an interesting thing to sort of figure out how to put into words.
Well, take your time, man. Take
Yeah,
your time.
yeah, yeah. No, I want to, and I
Maybe
wrote
this
some.
is going to be longer than a minute. That's why I didn't even say mental health minute.
Yeah.
Let's just start the podcast and see where it takes us. But yeah, I know you've been going through it a little bit, so feel free to start wherever you want. Like, what's going on?
It's weird because life overall, my like immediate life, my family, my things like that have been going pretty well. Like, and that's kind of when it gets you. It's like you're lured into this like false sense that everything's okay again, and the reality is like it's a thing that just comes back every few months, and or whatever whenever it comes back. But I feel
What
like
what exactly is it for those that don't know? Because I mean, I don't know. So when you say it comes back,
Yeah.
what is it?
I would say the easy answer is anxiety and depressed thoughts. And sometimes what I'm noticing now is like, and I've never been diagnosed as manic, but I'm starting to think that I possibly have like manic episodes, just as far as like my when I can't sleep and stuff like that. It's like a surge of adrenaline. I don't really know like anything. I'll say that it got bad to the point where like now I'm looking into sort of like health insurance options to like finally just go figure this thing out, because it's I'm just sick of it, dude. I'm tired of having those days where I feel awful, dude. Like not sleeping, waking up with like extreme just panic. Like my chest has sort of been hurting more lately. I the other morning, and we'll talk a little bit about this later on, but we went on the road recently, and I was pretty good. Like it was a really fun trip. But the last night, I woke up. The last day, like when we were about to leave, I was really anxious, sort of, and so I Googled like, is my anxiety unmanageable? Like, because it's starting to feel like that sometimes. Like I manage it quite a bit. Like I'm okay.
But wait, let's take it really slow. So you were on the road with Jeremiah, opening for Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Doing a weekend of comedy with Jeremiah Watkins, right?
Yeah,
Which
we
is
did
like
2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday.
exactly what you would want to do with your life.
Exactly, a dream come true, man. Yeah.
And was there audiences and the shows were good, or
Audiences were good. We were, I mean, great audiences. We were really safe. I mean, we just stayed in the green room till it was time to go out there. I mean, Jeremiah's really good about that stuff. Like he's not fucking around when he's got a pregnant wife. It's like, so we were super careful. The club has like a really high ceiling. It was, it felt the safest way that we could. And, deeply honestly, it was really nice to like get paid to do some work, like the work that we love to do. It's like that's the dream, to get paid for your art. And so
right. So my point is
Yeah.
like, and then you wake up the day you're supposed to leave and you feel anxiety. Do you feel like the anxiety stems from possibly something great is finished? You have to go back to like
absolutely
life.
I think
Right.
that is so this is why I'm trying to take my time with this, because it is so multifaceted that it's I get sidetracked in trying to describe it as well. It's like, yes, like, so what I'll say to that is like that is one of maybe the triggers, right? So there's symptoms, and then there's like triggers that I go through. Like the symptoms that when I wake up that I know that I'm sort of about to go through it is like I'm not sleeping. I'm trying really hard to sleep. I've don't know if I've mentioned this on this show, but I've gone through phases where I'm taking ZQuil, melatonin, an edible, and smoking weed like all at once, and I still can't go to bed. Like I'll go to sleep for like 2 hours, wake up and be like, fuck. And so that increases it. So sleep is
Do you
one.
put any music on or anything like that? Do you put any headphones in? And
Yeah,
like, listen to
sometimes
something?
we've talked about it. I have certain podcasts that are bring me joy. A lot of it is this feeling of dread, man, and so I like these podcasts where people are really silly and or very calm talking. Lately it's been the Todd Glass show has always been one of my go-tos because they just do all these silly bits, and he seems like such a kind like person that I just enjoy hearing him talk. Blind Boy I like listening to because he's just got such a great voice that the podcast Hug thing that he talks about, it's like it's real, man. There's that like soft spoken, and he's also very he talks a lot about mental health and stuff like that too, but it's just yeah, so I'll do those things. So but back to the symptoms. I mean, it's like not sleeping, my heart beats like uncontrollably, dude. Like you can my girl put her hand on my chest the other day and she's like, I can feel that. Like it kicks it up a couple decibels, like where your heart just beats normal, but when you're going through it, you can feel it. Like you feel it in your hands, like anywhere you have veins, you can feel it. Like I sweat a lot, and I've mentioned this before. Like I feel like my sweat smells different when I'm having a panic attack. I don't know if that's adrenaline or maybe it's just BO because I'm sweating at a rapid rate that it's making my body smell. So that's another one.
I think that's a scientific thing. Like when animals are afraid,
Huh.
they sweat and I think that's like a fight or flight thing. Maybe
Okay.
I'm not sure, but yeah, that
Yeah, that's interesting. I would like to do some research on that. I've never actually Googled that, but so there's that. And then your brain just starts going, man. So this is a weird one. Like it's not, I guess not weird, but I have woken up from whatever the 1-2 hours of sleep that I'm getting, and from the moment that my consciousness realizes I'm awake, I'm already thinking, and I've thought that I was thinking before I was awake. Like, so I feel like even when I'm sleeping or whatever, my brain is like it's just like a hamster on a wheel. Like, so basically when I awake, I am turning this TV show on that started at 8, you know what I mean? It's 8:30 or it's 8:15. I'm turning it on and they're mid conversation. That's how my brain feels. Like the other day I woke up and I was immediately just thinking of lyrics from a song, and I was like, I feel like it wasn't even the beginning of the song. I was already like mid song, and so I felt like, man, like I was already singing this shit before my consciousness realized that I was singing this. And that gets tricky sometimes, and then that starts to feed itself because that's really been the hardest part of it for me sometimes, is not being able to shut my brain off. And a couple times I've thrown on the meditation app and stuff, and it feels like this fight, and my mind is winning at the moment. It's beating any sort of technique of breathing, or I try to breathe and I'll get maybe one breath in and it's just back, boom. Like if it was a boxing match, like my thoughts are fucking Tyson and everything else is everyone else that he's fucking just dropped. It's been sort of a losing battle lately as far as being able to shut my brain off. And that's an interesting thing to sit around. I sit with my thoughts and I'm like, it's a couple voices, man. It's my mind just going and going and going. Like dude, if I had the amount of energy that my brain has to think, like I would be so motivated. Like it never stops. It never stops. And then the other thing.
So Sunday, you go ahead.
Well, just to speak about the different voices. The other voice is me, sort of outside of that, just screaming at myself, like going like, why, like just stop thinking, and then that becomes thinking, and it's just like, it's weird because I'll look at myself in the mirror and I look the same and I'm me and all that, but you can't see what's going on inside my head. It's like it's a really peculiar moment to look yourself in the eyes and know who you are, but still not be able to control what you're thinking. It's fucking weird, man.
It's intense. I think we all experience that though.
Oh, I'm
way.
sure.
I'm
not.
I can think. I can think of times where in everyday life where I'm just kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like you, inside your head, you're kind of questioning, yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's hard
You know,
to like.
it is very hard to
envision.
describe, and I'm trying,
It is, yeah.
but I guess it's like when you walk around all day, you hum a song, right? Like you're humming a song. Well, my song is negative thoughts, and rather than like maybe humming a tune, I start to grind my teeth, or so there starts to be external symptoms to this internal monologue. It's an internal monologue. I mean, it's like if you're watching a play or a movie and you hear the guy's thoughts, it's that, but the thoughts are so wild, and sometimes they're not even negative, but sometimes they're literally like song lyrics, or I'm thinking of fucking dinosaur facts or a book I read, but it's just constant.
You ever like argue with people in your head?
Yeah,
like
for
argue
sure.
with other people, like have conversations with people.
Absolutely.
How far do they go?
A lot of them are me. So a lot of them are me figuring out how I should have said something or how I would like to say something.
Right.
And then
like when you break up with a girl and then like 3 weeks later you're like, oh man, if I would have just said that.
Or if somebody,
she would've really
in the
felt
comedy
stupid.
world, it's like if someone roasts you, and you don't have a comeback, you spend the next week going, man, I should have said this, I should have said that. So it's that, but
Bro,
yeah,
I always have a comeback. All right.
yeah,
like-
yeah, I know you probably do. Yeah, I'm working
I always
on
have
that.
a comeback. Always.
Well, because
Try
men
me.
are.
Try me in the comments right now. Go ahead.
Here we
At me
go.
on
Let's
Twitter.
see. Let's see how this goes
go.
in the live.
Say shit about my hair. I'm ready.
That's hilarious. Well, that's interesting because I've known people who have they've been made fun of their whole life for a certain reason, and those are the people who are the most brutal. Like they know, because it's like the B Rabbit thing in 8 Mile. It's like, what are you gonna fucking say? Like I already know. It's chess. You've already sort of won. You've played
already
this
played
game.
that game. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I've already played that game.
Yeah, and
all
I already
life.
know.
Like,
And most
there's
honestly,
not
most
much
of
you
those
can say.
most of those moves, let's say 90% of them are the same moves that you've already seen. The
Right,
fun
you're
part,
gonna hit me with the pedophile.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit me with the school shooter. You're gonna hit me with the jump out of the bushes
Yeah.
pedophile. The glass, whatever.
yeah. So it's almost, I almost feel, and I've seen people
Ain't gonna
when
happen.
when they get burned with an original one, they're not even mad. They're like they kind of like those original ones because they're like, damn, I never heard that one, dude. Like that's good. But
I did roast battle against Toby Marishano. That dude is original, man.
oh
He
yeah,
destroyed
he was
me.
great. I
He
remember. Yeah.
destroyed me, and I just couldn't do anything. That was the last one I did. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this shit.
I think
Like,
because
I'm
there
not
are
into
those
this.
guys, man. There are those dudes that are just they're just so good at it. But yeah, so I will have those sort
So
of.
anyway, you were like, let's go back to like,
Yeah.
you woke up Sunday
yeah.
and you were coming home.
Well, as you're
Remember
saying
that?
this,
That's-
yes, as you're saying this, I'm noticing a lot. This shit is all patterns, right? Like, I talked about this before. Like, I treat emotions like drugs. I really do, man. Like, I'm basically shooting up serotonin. Because comedy is such high highs, low lows, entertainment in general, and there is. So I'm just noticing a pattern in what you're getting at now with how I would say I would be depressed the day after Kill Tony. It is that thing of it being over. Definitely, there's something to that because
Yeah, like I don't know if I mentioned this on this podcast before, but there was one interview. It's with Brett Favre.
mm-hmm.
It's the most intriguing situation I've ever heard in my life. The minute he won the Super Bowl, he went into the locker room. He didn't even celebrate with the team. Nothing. Like as soon as they won, and like I think even while the confetti would, like before the trophy, anything, he went in the locker room, took a shower, and cried in the shower because
Man.
he knew it was over.
So see,
And-
so what I would do is I'd fucking celebrate. I'd be out there with the team, the confetti. I'm drinking champagne. I'm fucking I never want this to end. Inevitably,
Right,
you
then it
go
would
home
end.
at 4. You go home at 4, and you're just online, sort of, you're looking at the Instagram photos from how you just won the fucking Super Bowl, this and that, and then it starts to set in, and you go, oh fuck, like I can't sleep now. Didn't hydrate, this and that, and then you don't sleep the entire night, and then the next day then the heart kicks in, then the thoughts kick in, then everything, then you start feeling really scared that maybe your mind has broken, and should I go to the hospital? Should I, am I having a breakdown right now? Like the other morning I almost went to go because I wanted like something to stop the feeling, man. And Xanax, they'll give you that or they'll give you whatever, but the problem with those things is they're super dangerous. I mean, the problem with Xanax is it is a solution to those feelings, but long term, it's a really dangerous drug. Like, I'm not sure the actual classification of drug, but I know that that and alcohol are the only two things you can die from if you quit cold turkey. Like, they fuck with your nervous system.
Heroin as well, but whatever.
Can you die from heroin from
100%? Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Well, then maybe
that's why if you go to jail and you're a junkie, believe it or not, they'll give you some. I don't know if they give you the heroin to shoot up, but they'll give you some. Probably not methadone. I think they give you like oxycontins and shit like that.
I just remember what it is. It's benzos. They're benzos.
Right.
That's what.
Benzos. Yeah.
And then the last time that I did any of those, like I think they gave me something, not Klonopin, but something. They're all sort of in the same realm, but when I was in the darkest period of my life, and I talked about, not darkest period of my life, one of those sort of slumps. I talked to Jessie about this when she was on the show, was I started to get depressed because they help with anxiety, not depression. They help with the physical feelings of anxiety. So yes, it is possible to be depressed while on an anti-anxiety medication. So I was on that anti-anxiety medication and started to get depressed because I was like, well, this is fake. It's going to wear off and I'm just going to have that anxiety again. And that was terrifying, dude. It was like, fuck, like that's why I got
you think
real
a big
deep,
part
man.
of it, I think, and again, like, I don't know. I'm not like a huge, I know that some people need the drugs and all that stuff, but
Yeah,
I would be the type of
course.
person who would just try to exhaust every single avenue before that. And part of that is like, meticulous about certain things like meditation or meticulous about exercise.
Yeah, I'm
because
learning
you really don't
that.
know.
But
if you're not exercising every single day,
Yeah,
if you
I
get
did
off
that.
the wagon.
Yeah.
You're right. You did that.
I know.
DID,
Yeah.
Not do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the thing about mental health. It's a constant battle. It's an everyday battle, and it's dead serious.
You
It's
know what's
like
crazy?
You
It's like
cannot miss no days off.
Yeah, I hear that. The problem is when you're fucked up in the head like that, those things and you still don't do them. It's like
Right.
It's and so I've had this thought sometimes, like my mind is trying to kill me, dude. It's like it feels like my body's under attack, man. Like sometimes it's and I know, I hear, of course, I know, like I'm learning that more and more that like, what do they say? Like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure or something like that. It's like,
No
it's
idea.
this thing that I feel like the world, most America and maybe other parts of the world, we're very reactive. And so with health, with all that, you get cancer, now we're going to give you treatment or this or that, rather than figuring out ways to have a healthy life where that's less of a possibility, But the problem with mental illness is like it's self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a version of mental illness. I know all these things, and it's like I still, for some reason, don't do it. And like I said, sometimes I do because I've seen the benefits, and I think after this last slump, because I'm sort of coming out of one right now, another one is like I'm trying. I want to like, I'm slowly sort of, I feel real. That's another thing when after you get out of it, you feel like really vulnerable, dude. Like you feel like a crab in between shells, or like, like I feel completely unarmed right now. And so when you feel like that, you don't want to leave your house. You want to just stay. You feel super like soft, and so I'm sort of in that soft period right now, and so now I'm just sort of trying to recoup and trying to pick up the pieces of it, and hoping that by the end of the week my body will feel like my shell is starting to harden, and then once the shell is hardened, then I can go to the gym, then I can start those things. So I'm doing small things right now. I'm trying to hydrate. I'm trying to like be aware of my thoughts. I'm going to meditate today after this podcast. I'm starting small, and that's another thing people don't have. I've noticed a lot of people don't really have compassion or empathy for that. They're like, you got to do this now. You got to do it. And it's like, I know. I'm trying. And so and I know they mean well. It's your friends. They love you. They want to see you thrive. But, so I'm going to start with the meditation. I want to hit the gym. Maybe tomorrow will be hard because it's Thanksgiving, but, the next day I'll probably go to the gym that day and start the running. And I'm here, my girlfriend, I'm here at her house also because no one's home, and I got some vocals that I want to do that I can't really do at my house. So I'm gonna, do some music work and be creative, and so that's a thing when you're coming out of and I've never been, but I feel like after somebody that's leaving like the psych ward, you just feel you feel soft. I feel vulnerable, dude. Like if everyday life you're wearing armor, I feel like I have zero armor and I have a target on my back, and people are, that's how it feels. So I'm just kind of taking it slow, staying inside, and I'm doing some creative work. And I'm hoping, I guess the crab thing is or a lobster, right? Like they shed their shell. It's like, and then it's soft, but then it starts to harden after a while. So as my shell hardens, I'm trying to commit myself to, no pun intended, to getting that cycle again of prevention, rather than waiting till I lose my fucking mind and then trying to dig myself out of that hole, because that hole it seems like it's getting deeper every time it happens. And it's like, or it's just, I don't know, not deeper, but you go, fuck, I'm here again. And I have friends that I can't even call anymore because they've helped me in the past. And not that I can't call, they would welcome me, but I'm embarrassed to call because at the end of all the help, when I get better, they're like, well, Joel, you know what you got to do. And then I go, yeah, you're right. And then I don't do it. And so now I'm sort of ashamed to call them and be like, hey, here I am again. But they would love me, and I could definitely call them, but, it's more my own sort of thing.
I get what you're saying. It's like that's another part of the cycle, is feeling embarrassed and feeling shame that you have this that these things are, whatever the word, that the things are happening, or you feel ashamed.
It's
not
weird.
your fault,
Yeah, and that's also a hard one too, because when you're like this, the not your fault thing is sort of a way to sometimes to cop out of getting help and stuff. Oh, it's not my fault. I understand that part of it too, but yeah, I don't know. It's real interesting, man, because it's a snake eating its own tail. Where
right, it's all how you want to look at it, and how you look at it is exactly how it works. I mean, like I'm saying, I don't personally have this kind of issue, but I have small versions of it.
Yeah,
and I take full responsibility, and I know that every action I take is going to contribute to not having to deal with that. I have small panic attacks, and I know that if I meditate every day, I probably won't have them.
Yeah.
And I have small anxiety, and I know that if I combat that with rational thinking, and I spend time in my own head, kind of combating negative thinking with I don't want to say positive thinking, but reality. Reality. It's like, when you think about something like Jeremiah Watkins shows, it's like, this isn't the end of, this is just, another thing that I'm doing. It's not that great. It's not that bad. It's great to be here. It's fun, but I'm not going to get so invested in it that it brings me super high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you said rational thinking. I mean, it's like when you're in the midst of whatever. I guess let's just call it like a. I guess I'm kind of tired of calling it a panic attack because it's so much more when you're in like a moment of. I don't want to say like when you're having an episode. Let's say that just for our terms here, but like when you're in there is like nothing rational about your thinking, and even if you try to rationalize it, you can rationalize yourself into a hole where because there are rational concrete things that will still feed the fire of panic, like say just to go to the most extreme, a rational thought of you go, well, I'm not gonna die right now. I'm not gonna die. This isn't gonna kill me. But you go, oh, but I am gonna die someday, and then death, and then death, and death, and fuck, oh fuck, I'm scared of death.
Okay, but hold on, just to be clear, I'm not talking about like while I'm having anxiety.
I get you. Yeah.
I'm proactive, you know, and I take responsibility for being proactive because I know I'm in control of those actions.
Yeah.
And I know that they will help me, so I do them. And
Yeah.
if I don't do them, I take responsibility, and I think, and I know obviously I go days without meditating, even though I know I should be meditating, but I take responsibility for it, and I go, okay, I know if I can do this every day, it will benefit me, so I try to do it every day.
Yeah, I know.
That's the rational thinking. That's when I'm not having an attack.
Yeah.
Obviously, and like I said, I don't experience what you experience, but I have had panic attacks before, and I realize you can't talk yourself down. You have to just wait it out. I mean, you can talk yourself down, but you don't realize you can while it's happening.
Yeah.
You think, oh, just breathe. And then you're like, am I breathing right? It feels weird. Am I breathing? Is this breathing? Is my chest, am I having a heart attack? Like, I get it.
Yeah, and I'm also, I take responsibility for like, I know that I can't just like, I'm never just going to like blame my actions on the thing. I will say like there's just so much that goes into it, and I'd always like, one of my things is like if I do have an episode around people, or if it affects like something that I'm doing, I will like take accountability for the wrong things that I did, and I'll try to like, I will make amends to the people that I've hurt while I was in that moment, or so that's sort of, I will always take, I'm never going to be like, I'm not sorry, I'm sick. I'll be like, hey, this is what happened. It doesn't excuse my behavior. Like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure this out. But, I to my friends and family and stuff like that, I always like, I promise that I won't. I never use it as like an escape hatch. I'm not like, I'm sick, goodbye. I'm always like, hey, I've been pretty open about all this stuff. I'm really sorry for that. I love you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry that happened. And like, I in hindsight, the way I acted was wrong. And my sort of like when I have an episode with around people, or it affects something work related or whatever, or relationship, I am able to separate myself, view the wrong actions that I made, and apologize for those things. So that's I do take responsibility for those things. I need to, I don't know. I just need to figure this out. So I'm sort of in the process right now of figuring out. I need to sign up for some sort of health insurance because I'm tired of. I need to figure out a system of healthy living. Dude, it's so crazy because when I hear that like mental health or healthy living or mentally healthy, there's a part of me in my head that like, like feels so nice. Like I love the when people say that like that I've overcome it or I've figured out a way, like, and they say it, like, it's so, I get jealous, but I also go like, wow, like that what's that like? That must feel so good. And I know it's hard, but I guess it's hopeful. I know that there is like, I mean, when I was having an episode maybe like a year or two ago, I never thought I was gonna be okay again. I thought my brain was broken, and that I remember going to my mom going like, I think this is it. Like my mind is fucked. Like I thought I was never gonna return back to normal. And when you're in it, it's so scary, man. I was looking at myself again, like in the mirror, and I'm just like, damn, like this is Joel. Like what the fuck? Like, I'm me, but I'm not me. Like, my body it's just raining terror on me, dude. Like, it feels so awful. And that's a weird one because we are this physical world. Like, I'm looking at my arms and my face, and I can look in my eyes, but there's this fucking computer thing going on in my head that it's like it's just a whirlwind, and it's really scary to be a worldly being but then have this like spiritual problem. And yeah, whatever. And I'm not doing this as like a woe is me at all.
No.
I'm just reporting, man. I'm reporting.
It's good conversation.
Yeah, I've seen what it's like, and my heart goes out to people who've had it worse than me, man. Like, there's other things out there that are fucked. My heart goes out to you, and I've known people who've had it worse than me who have gotten better, and that gives me hope. And so, but my point being, when I was at the worst of it, one of my bad ones, I thought I was never gonna be back to normal, and then I remember when I finally got back to normal. It took a while, dude. It took maybe a week, maybe a little over a week, and I remember when it started coming back to like feeling like me again, and I was like so grateful and so thankful that I don't know, you can attribute it to like people who did too much acid or whatever, and maybe their brains broke, or it lit.
I did a lot of acid.
Well, say if somebody's like predisposed to like schizophrenia or something, and they do acid or they smoke a lot of weed or whatever, and that's what sort of like kicks it up more. Like and their brain breaks finally, or say a schizophrenic person, from what I'm, if they don't do the treatment and stuff like that, and it finally snaps, where now they are sort of living between those worlds, between the physical and spirit or mental realm, and the line gets blurred, and I was worried that I was there, and so it was nice to flip that switch and be like, oh no, I'm still here.
I think we got to be like extremely careful about like, because our brains can play tricks on us, and it's like we're always gonna like dream up the worst stuff. So it's like, oh, am I schizophrenic? Am I hearing? I mean, I always question if I hear voices in my head.
Yeah,
but you would know it if you were.
No,
you know what I mean.
I've already gone through that, like with the therapist when I was a kid. So here's another one. It's like I got diagnosed with clinical depression and panic disorder, like in the 4th or 5th grade, like as a child, right? Like I started having panic attacks in church, and because I went to Catholic school, we'd go to the church.
Why?
And
because of hell?
No, I think actually now I can even trace it back further. I mean, I have weird sort of like issues with like what do they call it? Not detachment anxiety. What is it like when you leave a place, like, or
abandonment?
Not really. No, I remember being, when my mom would drop me off at a babysitter's or something like that, like I would cry, like I didn't want her to leave me. Not abandonment. What are the there's a word for it.
Yeah, that's
like
abandonment. I'm pretty sure that's abandonment.
Yeah, but there's another term. I'll think about it. But and for no reason, I was with, I don't know what it was. Maybe I just felt safe around my mom, I guess. And then when she would leave me with these other people, I would panic. So I can kind of trace it back to being a child. But and then at school a little bit, and then when friends would invite me over for sleepovers, I would leave before the end of the night because I thought my mom was gonna die or something. So so she would have to come pick me up, and then they stop inviting me, and then that becomes a whole nother thing, because they don't want. Yeah, it's like, and then I think it really started kicking up around the 4th, 5th grade, where my parents didn't know what the fuck was happening to me when I was having panic attacks. They didn't know what was going on, and I think my mom talked to another kid's mom, and she had it. And this lady, I mean, now it's like I sort of owe her a lot because she told my mom, hey, he's having this. She used to have real bad ones where the ambulance would have to come and stuff. So she kind of like enlightened my mom to the idea of like what is happening. So then my mom took me to a therapist, and then, through that and figuring that out, and then psychiatrist, and then I did the meds for a bit, but I never took them long enough for them to work because there's like a period of, they have to like get into your body and stuff. And then me having to take pills to be normal, started becoming a fucking mental gymnastics, and then when I found skateboarding and music and stuff like that, I think in my teens that helped me, and I was like, oh, I'm not sick anymore. This is awesome. I have my friends. We skate every day. I'm playing music. I'm okay now. And I thought I was healed, and like, and then it turns out you're not. You go to high school and you start to have them again because whatever, your girlfriend leaves you, or you're freaking out about your classes or whatever. Or 9/11 fucking happened when I was in high school, and that was, really fucked up for me to take in, and that was a fearful day, and it starts to come back. You realize that it's like, dude, it's always there, dude. It's a monkey on your back, and you got to feed the monkey or he's going to fucking choke you to death. And, literally the monkey will kill you. It's like, if you don't feed the monkey, it's going to get you.
So what else happened? What else happened this week?
Well,
when did this all start? You said you're just coming out of a bad one.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't want to get too specific about everything. Well, eventually it'll all we'll talk about it all. But I just think that there's a lot of things in life that we're sort of feeling. I didn't know, but with the pandemic and everything, with career, with comedy, with all this sort of not knowing where it's going, there was a lot of unsure feelings and stuff sort of going around. And I think that those unsure feelings with my sort of mental state and things like that sort of just, it finally sort of like with the pandemic and all that too, it just sort of bubbled up and exploded. It kind of just, I was finally like sort of helpless to those feelings, and so that, yeah. And I don't know if it was partly like getting to go to Arizona and kind of having a taste of that, what it used to be like again, was some part of it too. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to wrap this sort of stuff up, not wrap it up. It's just sort of transition, going back to like going to Arizona and stuff. I had a great time.
Feel free to wrap it up. We're at like 50 minutes, so
Okay.
I mean, not wrap it up.
I know
I'm
what
not
you
saying
mean.
wrap it
Yeah.
up, but like, yeah, feel free to tie it in a bow, and
Yeah.
let's ship it out. This is the mental health hour. This
Yeah.
is a cool episode.
I like
it
this
personally.
Yeah, I wanted to talk. I got some notes here too. It's like just to get out of this, and then I'm glad we tried to sort of break down the feeling of what it is, because it's so esoteric, and the only way I could really describe it is by the actual physical things that happen in my body when it's happening. But I roll with a lot of people who are pretty open, and we talk a lot about mental health, and so for a lot of my immediate crew, there's not really a stigma. It's okay to talk about it. I feel comfortable. One of my main things to go to when I'm panicking is to tell someone that I'm panicking, because then it gets out of my head. They know what I'm going through. They know why I may be acting the way I'm acting. But I'm starting to notice like that's not everybody, dude. There still is a stigma about it, and there is this thing, there is a bit of a culture of this like, don't be a bitch like culture, this like suck it up like thing, and it's like, I just want to like,
don't be a baby.
Yeah, don't be a baby.
I know exactly. Yeah.
Like that, and it's weird. It's like, but I hear it, and it's online, and it's and it's with people that I also have when I'm want motivation. I've listened to those same speeches and gotten a lot of good from them, but I think sometimes it can be detrimental, and I think that there is this sort of like idea that you can just work your way out of this, and like, suck it up, and you're being a bitch, go just pick yourself up, and you just gotta fucking just do it. You just gotta do it. And it's like, okay, maybe for like some people can, and wow, like, but they don't it's just like, they are the outliers, kind of. They are one in a million, and maybe fucking David Goggins fucking completely flipped his life, and now he's like, and I respect that, and I love it, but I think that not everybody is maybe there yet, or who's to say my ass won't be a fucking David Goggins type in 10 years where now Joel's a fucking marathon runner. Who knows? But that, or like the Jocko thing, or like the, whatever. It's just like, I think sometimes that stuff can be, it's viewed as like a solution. And sure, it might be, but I don't think that's everyone.
Or it's viewed as the be all end all solution, like the
Sometimes.
only solution.
Yeah, it's like,
it's like everyone's different.
Yeah, and it's like, if I could tell you the times that I've heard "don't be a bitch" in my life, like, we wouldn't have time. It's like, no shit, like, oh, don't, oh, okay, oh, cool. I'm better now. I thought, sorry, I thought whatever, there was more to it, but it turns out I'm just being a bitch. It's like, or I need to just fucking get over it, or like, dude, that was a big one growing up, man. Like, get over it. Or I had friends who would tell me like, it's all in your head, and the last time I checked, your head, your brain runs everything that is happening in your body. Your brain is controlling your entire being. So yeah, it's all in your head, but so is everything else. What are we if we're not our minds? We are our minds. And so to tell somebody it's all in your head, it's like, what a fucking cheap way, what a cheapening of something that is like, it's all in your head. I never understood that, or I hate this one too, like, it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. It's like what a fucking, I don't know who these people are. It's like, I have buddies.
Well,
who have
they're
said
people that have a very small understanding of the actual science of,
yeah,
mental
and I think,
illness or mental health,
and maybe because they've never experienced it, to them it's like stupid, or it's like pussy, or whatever, or like whatever, and like, I heard this quote.
People whose parents pay their rent are the first ones to be like, look, just get it together, figure it out.
Yeah.
Find some
That's
money
interesting
somewhere,
too, though,
get
because
a
I've heard
job.
that statistically, mental illness is rising in those communities, because when you have everything given to you and stuff like that, and you don't have external problems, there's nowhere to go but in. And so I know that like suicide rates and stuff like that they're rising in those communities, because you are your own worst enemy. And when you have everything paid for and stuff like that, some people turn within to find a problem, or they will inevitably, they're not that they're looking for an issue, but their mind will start to attack them, because nothing else in the world can touch them in that way. So that's also a thing too. But yeah, so if you're going through it, and I'll say this, and then I'll wrap it up with this. But I had a really great time in Arizona. If you guys came out to those shows, thank you so much. Like, it was wonderful, and like, what a fun crew to go with. I mean, me, Jeremiah, and Jesse. It was so fun. I mean, we have 2 roadcasts coming out that I'll definitely promote on this, but the amount of bits that we do, and I cry laughing with those guys, and it's I feel really happy to have been able to do that. So if you guys were there, from the bottom of my heart, I mean, we had a wonderful, wonderful time, and so I hope you guys did in the audience. I hope you could feel that. My first show Friday was awesome. I was so scared. I mean, Jeremiah picked me up. He's like, so he was giving us the time breakdown. He's like, yeah, so Jesse will do like, I think he said, I think he was saying like, Jesse would do like 10, I would do 20, he does the hour. And I was like, I don't have fucking 20
minutes. Wow.
At the time, because it's been a while since I've done stand up. I didn't remember my jokes.
20 minutes, man. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like, so he's like, or you guys could split it. Jesse does 15, you do 15, and I do an hour. And I was like, I like that. Let's do that. So Jesse's like timing her set, and I'm like, fuck, I'm terrified. I don't know if I could do this. And then I sat down, wrote out my bits, wrote them all out. Boom, boom. I have this process where first I write them real messy on a big piece of paper. Then I write them nicer on a big piece of paper, like organize them. Because the first one's sort of a bunch of just jumbled thoughts of my jokes. And in the corner over here, I'll write one that I remembered after I made the list. And then the next one, I organize the list. And then after that, I fold a paper into a little piece of paper, and I write them real small, really neat, like that. And so through that process, I was starting to remember my jokes. I was starting whatever. So first show Friday, the fear kicked in, all of that. but Jeremiah's so great. He's like, have fun, be yourself. He basically lets us do whatever he wants. He doesn't bar us from anything. He's, if you want to do crowd work, that's fine because I also do it. So it's okay. You're not setting them up for crowd work with a headliner that doesn't do it where now people want to talk. You know what I mean? Like that could be weird sometimes, but so he just gives me this freedom and I go out there and I had the most fun. I felt probably like the most fun I've had maybe ever. It was one of my favorite sets I've ever done. And I got off stage and Jeremiah was like, dude, he gave me a hug. He's like, I got to give you a hug. He's like, that was the best set I've seen you do. And there are sets that your friends do where you can see the trajectory of where their comedy is going to go. And I was like, thank you so much. It just meant so much coming from him. And because I was sort of having so much fun and sometimes you hit your timer before you walk on stage. So I was a little unsure. I ended up doing 20 minutes, like almost, 18 to 20 every night. I was like, I think I did like 20 minutes. I think I could do 20 minutes now after doing those shows. He's like, you did do 20 minutes. And I was like, I apologize. I don't always want to run the light. And then Jesse was joking, saying like Jeremiah's backstage, like crossing jokes off his set list because his time has been like eaten into. But
Right.
But so I did 20 minutes. And so now I'm like, man, I can do 30. Like I'm going to go. I'm excited about this to go home. And
Dude,
now
I'm the opposite, man. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I can totally do I haven't done stand-up in so long, but like I could totally do 20 minutes. But when I go on the road with someone, last time I remember I was on the road with Doug Benson, and there was a couple people. Everyone got like I think 10 minutes or 12 minutes or something like that.
It's harder for you.
Obviously I can do 10 minutes or 12 minutes, but I'd end up doing like 7 minutes, 8 minutes because I was so scared that I was going over my time.
Yeah.
That I was like, fuck, man, I don't want Doug to hate me. So I would just be like ending, and then I'd go in the back, and then someone would be like, or the sound guy was like, I was like, did you give me the light? I didn't see the light. Where was the light? And he goes, I didn't even give you the light, man. You told me to give you a 10-minute light. You only did 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh shit, I did that in the main room one time too, and everyone made so much fun of me. Like it was crazy. Like
you didn't
like
milk
Danny,
it enough.
The sound. No, I just I had a 7-minute set and I only did 4.5 minutes because I didn't see the light, and I was like, it's the Comedy Store. Like you do not want to go over your time and shit. Yeah. But you don't want to go under either because Danny came out of the sound booth to the backstage and was like, Deary, what the fuck, man? You did. He showed me the stopwatch. He's like, you did 4.5 minutes, you fucking pussy. Yeah. I was like, oh man, fuck.
That's funny. Yeah, I have, and I don't run the light ever. Like it wasn't like it was this thing of I hadn't done stand up in so long. I think I was just like in this wave of it, and now that I've gotten that out of my way, I'll be a lot more careful. But it wasn't like out of disrespect. I wasn't trying to like.
Okay, so everyone listening, if when you're looking for a feature.
Yeah,
Joel
if you want me to do
Joel
20
doesn't
minutes.
normally run the light. Yeah, he can do 20 minutes, and he doesn't normally run the light.
Yeah, and Perfect. I can do 15. This was abnormal circumstances.
Of course, yeah, it's awkward if you don't do stand up for a while.
But that's it. Yeah, I mean, what I wanted to wrap with was like, man, if you're going through it, there's other people out there that are, and what David said is true. What I'm giving you a little bit of something. It's like I'm learning that living a proactive lifestyle is a lot better than not. And so I'm trying, and I'm on my own fucking journey with that, and I'm trying to figure it all out. But
maybe we can get on some kind of group schedule. You know what I mean? Maybe we can hold ourselves accountable. I think that's important. Like maybe we'll get a Patreon group going, or like some kind of Discord group or something where we can be like, we all have a goal to set. We're gonna meditate this much. We're gonna do this much exercise a week.
Yeah.
And we can work together on it, Maybe that's something we can think about, how to organize that.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah. So I'm on this fucking journey. I'm in this next week. I'm sort of slowly getting to it, but you're not alone. And sometimes the things that drive you nuts and make you super panicky and feel fear all the time are like the things that will fuel like the creative stuff that you do, and like but also, don't. That's another weird thing is when people when anxiety becomes like a brand. It's like don't do that. You don't want to have like those moments be like the thing, because then you can't get out of it if it becomes your business. It's like get get the help, and don't worry. But you're always, if you're funny, you're gonna be funny even if you get help. I don't like that thing either, that you gotta be fucked up to be funny, because you'll still be fucked up. You're just trying to be happy more often. And that's it. We love you. Thanks so much to the Patreon. Shout out to Hot Bob Hot Sauce. I still got to get you the fucking numbers of the other sponsors. We're going to figure that out, I promise. And do you have one last thing to say before I do the final send-off? No? He's shaking his head. All right. Peace out.
Shots on a gun, I don't wanna be. Guilt trip, these drugs are inside of me. This is not where I wanna be. This is not who I wanna be. And these words I speak today, will that be okay? It's a long and dirty road, but someone